Guten Morgen everyone. Today we're going to be looking at 6 tips for castle photography. Okay, so I'm currently in Germany at Burg Eltz. It's a medieval castle which is called Burg Eltz because of the Eltz family which lived here from the 12th century. It's about 30 to 40 metres tall, and as we all know, Germany is famous for castles, so that's why today's video is going to be 6 tips all about photographing castles. And since we're in Germany, we're going to be running down the numbers in German. Tip number 1. Okay, so the first tip is to do your research, and this goes for any kind of landscape photography really. But if you come into a place that you're not familiar with, and you've only got a short amount of time, say during golden hour, then you want to be quite quick, and you don't want to be walking around trying to find a good spot. So do your research before you get there. Look on Google Maps, use photo pills, see what direction the sun's coming from. Use apps like Clear Outside or just general weather websites and things. Find out what the weather's going to be so that you can plan, go on the best day and get the best shot. Tip number 2. Okay, so consider what lens you're going to use. You might want to use a long lens. For example, I've got my 24 to 200mm here, or you could go for a wide angle such as this 14 to 30 that I brought with me as well. At the long end of the telephoto lenses, you can really get in close and get some fine detail. It's a little bit more abstract, or you can use your wide angles just to get a big area and get the castle in context with its surroundings. And that can look really nice as well. Tip number 3. Okay, so for the third tip, try and use leading lines just to draw the viewer into your scene. It can work particularly well with castles because you've got things like bridges, such as this one, where it just really brings your eye into the scene and it can really improve your composition. Tip number 4. If you can capture a bit of atmospheric conditions such as fog or mist, that can really help lift your scene. You can take it from just a snapshot photo to something a bit more imaginative and more creative. Tip number 5. It can be really good to get different angles. So I've got my camera set up really low right now and I'm looking up at the castle, which looks great. However, just remember, with your verticals it can cause some distortion, so it can look like the walls of the castle are falling in on themselves just a little bit. I don't mind that too much, but if you don't like that kind of thing, you can avoid that by A, not taking this kind of shot, so getting your camera higher and taking the castle more straight on. You can try adjusting later on in Lightroom or Photoshop, so adjusting the distortion. Or if you've got loads of money, you can get yourself a tilt shift lens, and that'll just make sure that you don't get any of the distorted verticals in camera. Okay, I'm wrapping up for now. I didn't really get any golden hour light this morning, but there was a little bit of fog, so I'm hoping I've got a nice atmospheric shot. But I won't know until I get back home and get those on the computer, so I'll see you back there. Okay, so I'm back from my trip to Germany now. I had a fantastic time and I visited some amazing places, one of which was Burg Eltz. I didn't get the really good golden hour sunrise light, but I knew that I wasn't going to get that on the day, and I'd planned to get some fog instead. I had the choice of 2 different days basically. The Monday was going to be better sunlight, and the Tuesday was a chance of fog or mist. And I really wanted the atmospheric effect from the mist. So I went with the cloudier day, just so I could get that, and I wasn't disappointed because we did get a little bit of mist. And just to emphasise that, I've made the images really moody. I've brought down the saturation, added a little bit of extra contrast, and I've really tried to emphasise that mist by just using a selective brush and painting over it, and then bringing the dehaze down just to brighten that up. And I've still got one more tip left to do. So tip number 6 is visit Germany. If you want to photograph castles, you won't be disappointed in Germany. They've got everything from medieval fortresses all the way through to 19th century palaces. And in fact, I even got another shot later that day in Cochem, which is not far away from Burg Eltz. And there's a fantastic castle there, high up on a hill above some vineyards. So I'll put that shot up here. And that's about it for this video. So I hope you found it useful. If you do want to shoot castles, remember these tips. Just a summary. Number 1, do your research. Make sure that you know where you're going, you know where you're going to take your shot from, you've checked the weather, you've checked the direction of the sunlight, and then that way you're going to be able to take a great shot. Even better if you can, scout the location out the day before. Number 2, choose your lens that you're going to use. So consider either a telephoto long lens where you can focus in on some details, or use a wide angle and get all of the surrounding area in so that you can put your castle into its surrounding context. Number 3, try and use leading lines. There are loads of great opportunities at castles to use leading lines, including drawbridges, walkways, paths and walls, and they can really help draw the viewer's eye into the picture and focus on your subject, which is going to be your castle. Number 4, try and include some of the atmosphere of the scene. So if you can get there at sunrise or sunset, you're going to get some great golden hour light, or like I did, try and get some moody, cloudy skies with a bit of fog or mist, and that can really just add a little bit of atmosphere and vibe to your scene. And number 5, consider your verticals. If you're looking up or down at a castle at extreme angles, you're going to get converging verticals as if the walls are falling in on themselves. And you can combat that in a number of ways. One is to take the shot from another angle, so get higher up and more straight on. Number 2 is to do what I did and actually edit the image in Lightroom or Photoshop. You can take the image and you can actually stretch or distort it to counteract the distortion that you've already got, and you can actually bring those walls in so that they're all straight again. On number 3, you can use a tilt shift lens, which will actually allow you to combat those converging verticals in the camera itself. So that's it for this week. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I hope you found it useful. If you're not already subscribed, then please consider doing so, and if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. There's plenty more to come from Germany. Next week I'm going to be doing some architectural photography at a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so make sure you tune in for that one. But until then, thanks a lot everyone, and bye for now.